Hello Capricorn and welcome back to the channel. I'm Jen with Bohemian Path Tarot, and today we're doing August readings. I've got the Unfolding Path Tarot here, and before we get started, let me just remind you, these are general readings for a general audience, so it's not quite the same as a one-to-one reading. It might really resonate with you, or there might just be a nugget or two of a general wisdom or inspiration for you this month. If you know your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign, check out the videos for all those placements for a fuller picture. And I like to fast forward the video over the shuffling part, just because I like to focus on the shuffling and not chit chat over it or bore you with the solemn silence as I focus. So I'm going to give the deck a really good shuffle for you, and I will meet you in your reading in just a tick. See you there. Okay, Capricorn, let's take a look at what's coming up. The Chariot, the Knight of Wands, and the Ten of Wands. Let's move this guy here. And the Nine of Wands. Wow, that's a lot of fire for you, Capricorn. Okay, so starting with the Nine of Wands, that's kind of like being near the end of a cycle and feeling it, feeling like you can see the end. You're ready to close something out, ready to bring something to a culmination, or ready for a harvest. You've done the hard work, but also knowing there's a bit left to go. And usually at this point, there's a sense of, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to see it through to the end? There's that feeling of like, I don't want to quit now, but I'm running out of steam at this point. The traditional Rider-Smith Waite image on this card has the central character with a bit of a bandage. The central character looks a little bit tired and is kind of surrounded by these wands, as if almost protecting themselves from any further onslaught. And the kind of message here is like, stay focused. You know, even if you're tired, it might be the point in your journey to really focus on one particular passion project, and that might mean saying no to some other activities. And Capricorn, you tend to be such a hard worker and kind of someone who chips in for other people a lot, and you might have to gently extricate yourself from some other kind of activities and just look out for yourself and your own sort of interests for a little bit. And that's okay. That's the advice kind of inherent in this card, that there's something important that you need to focus on for a little while. It could be your health. It could be a special project that you really need to focus on to see through to the finish line. And you just need to kind of protect yourself, protect your energy to get to the end of it. I like to use this example a lot from my own life when this card comes up. I ran a marathon one time. I am not an athlete by any stretch of the imagination, but I did it for charity. I was raising money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and it was one of those deals where if you agree to do it, they give you a trainer and you get to go to a fun a marathon site and you train with a group of other folks who are doing it for charity. And I had some loved ones who were going through lymphoma, and so it was a meaningful thing. And it was a challenging process for me as a non-athlete to build the muscle and train for this endeavor. And on the marathon day, I was really excited. And, when you train for a marathon, you train for running long distances, but you don't ever go the full 26.2 miles in training. You never do that whole thing until the actual day you run the marathon. So the most I had ever done in training was about 18 miles. And so on the day of the marathon, I get to mile 19. And at that point, I had gone as far as I had ever gone before. And I was thinking, I don't know if I can finish this. But you think of the commitment you made and how important it is. And I had taken donations from people who know I'm not an athlete, who contributed because I'm to the cause, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, people who contributed knowing I'm not an athlete. So I had to finish. And I did. And after I got through mile 19, the mile 20, 21, 22, the closer I got to the finish line, kind of the easier it got. The hardest mile was mile 19. So Capricorn, what I'm saying is this Nine of Wands is kind of like your mile 19. This might be the hardest bit right here. But if you just focus on regrouping, recommitting yourself to this effort, knowing that you're going to stick to it, even if that means saying no to some other projects. You're going to finish this, whatever it is, or you're going to take care of yourself or your health or whatever this project is. You're going to see it through to the end successfully. Okay, moving on to the Chariot. The Chariot is a go card. It is a green light. It is an encouragement to move forward. I told one of the other signs who received this card about the history of the Chariot. Now, it actually comes from the Middle Ages, when touring bards and performers would take mystery plays that told stories from the Bible or stories about mythical characters or saints or morality tales. They would put on little plays that were packed into these pageant wagons. There would be a canvas kind of topper. It would be like a wagon that served as both the playing space and the vehicle for which all of the items and the performers could then transport the sets and costumes and whatnot to the next town or whatever. So there's this element of, taking your act on the road, or this kind of moving to the next place. So perhaps for some of you, what this project is associated with moving, or is associated with travel, or it could be associated with purchasing a vehicle or something along those lines. Obviously, the Chariot has associations with cars and trucks and any sort of vehicle you might own or use. There's also sometimes associated with the Chariot this kind of transitory nature, where you're moving kind of from one state to another. Like if you're and maybe doing renovation. Maybe this project could be a renovation to a home, and you have to move or do the van life thing, or you move in with your sister while these renovations are happening, and there's kind of a transitory lifestyle that you live, or you are leaving a home, but your next place isn't quite ready, or you have to move across country and it takes a little time before you get to your next destination. It could be something along those lines. It's going to hit different Capricorns in different places, but you'll recognize what's true for you. Another sort of movement or motion card is the Knight of Wands. This is also a go card or a green light. The Knight is an action card, and it can indicate somebody bringing information to you, somebody bringing like a job invitation or a job interview, an audition, something like that, that then requires your action. So it's kind of like a chain reaction, right? It could be related to whatever you're doing here. If this is some sort of a passion project, say this is a book you're finishing here, then you provide it to your publisher, who then has, media for you to connect with, press releases, that sort of thing. The wands are kind of like a fire that spreads. So something comes to you, and it's like a spark that sparks something in you, and then, it spreads like that. Now, wands tend to rule things like creative endeavors, something that you are passionate about. It could be something that you have created, something that is attached to your ego or your sense of self, your identity, your name, as in like your mark in the world. Wands can also rule athletic endeavors, like the marathon example, or dance, sports, health in general. As you see did I show you this one already? But even if you're like me and not necessarily an athlete, there's this passion, this movement, this drive that comes with the wands, this desire to move forward with whatever it is, even if it's a creative project. And so you would be sharing it with others that then have maybe more ideas, maybe collaborations, or it just leads to, I guess we could say, a higher profile. It's not like it leads necessarily to more work, but it leads to more visibility. Let's put it that way. Now, finally, we have the Ten of Wands, and this is kind of cleanup duty. This doesn't, in this depiction, this doesn't look pleasant, but it's just speaking to the kind of the end of the cycle, right? Like in the 9, we were talking about knowing you need to finish something, knowing that you're ready to close something out, but needing the last kind of gasps of energy to get there. And the 10 speaks to the part where it's over and it's done, but you kind of have to complete the cleanup. So like an example of this would be at the end of a school year, teachers, after teachers have, graded the students' finals, they still have to clean up their classroom, take everything down off the bulletin boards, pack away school books, that sort of thing before they go on their summer break. So, that's just one example. For you, in the example of maybe as a writer, if you've written something that you passed on to your agent, who is then going to put it out in the world, and there's, press releases and all that kind of stuff, there still might be something for you to do in terms of categorizing, archival, dealing with artists, or, there's still some kind of cleanup once the heavy part of it is done. If it's the example of moving, as we kind of discussed with this piece, like moving across the country, once the vans are loaded up and you travel across the country, well, then you've just got to get the boxes into the new place, something along those lines. So, Capricorn, it does look like a busy August for you, but also a really proud moment. And although there is work to be had, it does also look like you're going to be feeling excited. And although you're sort of aware of the effort, there's still this piece of this charge, this sense of movement, this sense of progress. Like you're seeing the progress, you're seeing the finish line, and you'll soon be able to pass the baton. I'm so curious about what this project might be, and because for different Capricorns, this might be something different. I would love to hear from you in the comments if any Capricorns would like to share what this might be for you. I'd love to hear what it is. But in any case, I'm going to leave it right there. I think whatever it is, you're going to finish it, and you're going to be able to pass it forward, and you're going to feel a real sense of accomplishment, a real sense of success. So congratulations, Capricorn. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And until next time, take good care of yourself. Bye for now.